The world is full of vibrant and interesting places. If you were to visit all of them, you would need more than a single lifetime. Not only do these places have rich cultures, but they also have long histories and unique personalities, so to speak. You'll never run out of things to do in these places, but there are some places which are so boring, they'll put you in a coma. Of course, nobody wants to waste their time, money, and effort going to these places, and because we want to help you, we've ranked the most boring destinations in the world. In this video, we're going to talk about the places that you are not going to miss seeing at all, and we're going to give you alternative places where you can spend your time as well as hard-earned cash. But before we get into the video, if you do like this content, please give us a big thumbs up, subscribe to the channel for more content just like this, and ding that notification bell so you never miss another update from us. So, what makes a city boring? This is a pretty subjective question, but generally speaking, boring destinations are those that lack character, culture, charm, or, well, any show-stopping tourist attractions. No, we're not saying that the places on this list are not worth a visit. We're just merely suggesting that you shouldn't find yourself in these places, as you might not want to spend too much of your time there. But then everything's a matter of taste. One man's boredom might be another man's excitement. Anyway, let's proceed with a list of the most boring destinations in the world and where to spend your time and money instead. Nagoya, Japan. Nagoya is a city that constantly ranks as one of the most boring places in the world. Japan Times seems to have the same sentiment too, because in October 2016, they named Nagoya, quote, the most boring city in Japan. What's the reason for such a harsh title? Well, Nagoya is Japan's industrial center, and there is absolutely nothing much to see there except gray buildings, and, well, those don't even have much of a personality. If you do happen to have a long vacation and you've maybe decided to spend the entirety of it in Japan, then you could probably spend a day or two in Nagoya, but we're telling you that you're not going to be seeing much. There's a couple of museums you can pursue, and you can walk around the city center. If you don't have time to go there, don't worry, because you're not going to be missing out on anything. Japan is a country that has plenty to offer tourists, and there's other places that are definitely worth your time. A superb alternative to Nagoya is Kyoto. Kyoto is the ancient capital of the country and has a never-ending experience for tourists to try. You can spot shy geishas while wandering around Gion. Casablanca, Morocco. Casablanca, the place, not the movie, is synonymous with the movie. However, it does lack a lot of glamour and the romance that the movie is oozing with. It's just not that interesting. This is a case of art certainly not imitating life. There is nothing much to see in the city, and for what there is, the overall experience just doesn't make you feel like the movie star that you should be. Don't even think about having your honeymoon there, because you're surely going to be disappointed. The city has narrow and crude roads, plus many local dealers try to exploit tourists with their mainly fake and overpriced goods. Aside from the Hassan II Mosque, there's no other buildings with historical flavor, so take our advice and just skip Casablanca. A great place to go instead is Marrakesh. Also known as the City of Luxury, Marrakesh has world-renowned palaces, luxury wraps, five-star restaurants, and countless hummuses to be able to soothe any weary tourists. If you'll be pressed to find anything to do in Casablanca, you'll be pressed for time in Marrakesh because there are countless things to indulge in. Moroccan cuisine in Namasakar Palace is also an experience in and of itself. Trust us on this one, skip Casablanca and head straight to Marrakesh. Ottawa, Canada. Ottawa is a city that does have different monikers, and none of them are great. It's been christened the Coma City, the city that fun forgot, and the most boring city. Well, those are the last things that we ever want to hear about a city. It just doesn't sound interesting and sounds really rather quite dead. Being the capital of Canada, you would certainly think that Ottawa should have even a few things to offer, but sadly, it just doesn't. Ottawa does have nice parks and great museums that might be interesting for a couple people. However, the city's atmosphere is just plain dull. It seems that nothing is ever going on at any given time, and that all residents do in their city is work and go home. Never make the mistake of visiting Ottawa during the winter season, because not only is it very cold, the roads are mostly covered with snow. The only thing that you'll be doing during winter is seek refuge indoors, so it's going to be a very, very boring vacation. If you want to visit Canada, just skip Ottawa, because you're not going to be missing out on anything. As a matter of fact, you'll be saving yourself a lot from disappointment, but instead, you need to go to Montreal. It won't send you into a coma induced by boredom. In fact, Montreal happens to be one of the most fascinating cities to visit in the country, as it's located in the province of Quebec and has a multitude of activities and attractions to offer. Montreal's architecture is just plain marvelous, and Old Montreal is famous for its historic architecture and is reminiscent of Paris. Montreal's parks are also breathtaking, and Parc La Fontaine is something you shouldn't miss. Of course, when you do travel, you also want to taste the local cuisine. Montreal's cuisine is extremely diverse, and whatever your preference is, you're going to be able to find something that will please you. The main influences are French, Irish, and Canadian Aboriginal cuisine, also known as poutine. Agra, India. Whenever mentioning the city of Agra, the first thing that comes to folks' minds is the Taj Mahal, which by and large is one of the most enchanting monuments to fall in love with. Built by Shah Jahan in memory of his third wife, Mumtaz Mahal, the Taj Mahal is one of the most significant architectural marvels of the Mughal Empire, if not the world. It was built by a whopping 22,000 stonecutters, painters, embroidery artists, and laborers. But aside from the Taj Mahal, Agra has, well, really nothing else to offer, which is just sad. Tourists who have been to Taj Mahal also say that it was underwhelming. The city of Agra itself is dusty, overcrowded, polluted, and dirty. And to make things worse, there's plenty of folks who are in the business of scamming tourists. They sell soapstone and tell people that it's marble. If you really want to see the Taj Mahal and are prepared to brace yourselves for the many hours of Agra, you have to contend with the thousands of tourists. So be prepared to sweat it out. If you don't care much for the Taj Mahal, then you can skip the entire city altogether. There are other more deserving sites in India to explore, and one of those is Rajasthan. Translated into English as the land of the kings, Rajasthan has it all: mouth-watering delicacies, ancient temples, and grand palaces. Rajasthan is an amazing contrast of textures and colors, and it's got plenty of shops selling rich color combinations of textiles as well as bangles. The food is absolutely amazing. Plus, if you are into the Indian cuisine, your palate will thank you for going here. There's even plenty of festivals and fairs throughout the year which reflect the country's rich heritage and culture. Of course, the ancient forts and palaces constructed by the different rulers and royalties are just remarkable. Vientiane, Laos. Not all cities in Asia are exciting. If you assume that, then you're wrong, and Vientiane seems to be a city that exists to prove that. Located along the borders of Thailand and Laos, Vientiane just doesn't have the charm that other Asian cities have. Tropical landscapes, mountains, and white sandy beaches are just nowhere to be found, and because of its tiny size, it also lacks tourist attractions. If you've got one day to spare and have nothing else to do, then you can visit here. However, if you've got limited time in Asia, you better go somewhere else. Vientiane is a place that can only hope to never get stuck in, and most people who venture there are likely to go on a visa run from Thailand to Laos. Luang Prabang is a much better place to go if you want to venture into Laos. The town is listed as a UNESCO's World Heritage Place due to the fact of its man-made and natural attractions. The majority of the town's sites can be reached on foot as you go through the various cities, where you can take your time to observe the locals' way of life as well as the monks. The almsgiving ceremony is a spectacle to witness, and one of the best places to do so is right there in Luang Prabang. Almsgiving takes place daily during sunrise and begins on the main streets before spreading out into the side streets. Pan Phenom is an artesian village which also deserves a visit. It's where locals make textiles that are then sold at markets. A major attraction is Koang Si Falls. It has 3 tiers that lead to a 50-meter drop and shallow pools which flow downstream. There are wooden huts nearby where you can even change into your swimwear. The falls are also surrounded by a lush tropical jungle that deserve to be explored in and of itself. Pakao Caves, packed with thousands of Buddha statues, which have believed to have been left by local people thousands of years ago. The caves are located in a dramatic limestone cliff in the Mekong. Last and certainly not least, the Royal Palace Museum of Luang Prabang once served as the residence of royalty during the French colonial era. It's designed in the French Beaux Arts style and comes with plenty of traditional Lao accents. So, what place do you want to visit the most? Let us know in the comment section down below because we would love to hear it. But that's the end of the video, and if you did enjoy it, please give us a big thumbs up, subscribe to the channel for more content just like this, and ding that notification bell so you never miss another update from us. Until next time, guys, we'll see you later.